we were driving the other day and I had the idea to start a podcast series. And I've always wanted to do a podcast, but I didn't quite know what to do with it. And the name struck me, Accessible Excellence. So it gives me the opportunity to speak to people about their companies and their businesses and things, to maybe give you some tips and things to help you along your journey. And that's the whole point, to make excellence accessible. So the person I decided to start today with is my cousin, William Washington. He is an amazing person. He's an amazing entrepreneur and business owner. He's an amazing therapist. And let's talk a little bit about yourself. What do you do?
So I say at the top, everything is mind and music. So I'm a licensed professional clinical counselor.
Okay.
I'm about to have my S designation so I can supervise people. I run the Washington Wellness Institute. And so we focus on modern health, modern healing, modern care, and revolutionizing the way that we see healing.
Okay.
And so our phrase is heal always. So that's one thing I do. The other thing I do is I'm also a musician. And so full-time musician. So I perform, play, manage. So I have a New Orleans style brass band called the Lamb Brass Band. And I'm also a part of Mourning, a BLKStar, which is like non-genre, non-gender conforming band that talks about the post-apocalyptic of the diaspora. So it's like this like weird, like if I had to say a genre, like Afro-punk, trip-hop type of thing. So it's a very unique blend of genres all mixed together. And then when I'm not doing all that, I make music for my nonprofit, which is called Viewunity, which focuses on content creators and making sure they have healthy spaces to create and raise money for charities.
And we'll have links down in the description to all of this, so you guys can go and check it out for yourselves and everything too.
Yeah, so I mean, and even in those three things I do, like the therapist, the musician, the nonprofit work, there is also this like, there's layers to all those. And so like I'm trying to like just give you like the tip of the iceberg. So like that's it. And then as we talk, we can definitely go into more and but that's pretty much it. Mind and music, if I had to put a phrase to it.
So when you were growing up, what did you like? Are you doing what you saw yourself doing when you were growing up?
Absolutely not. So my thing is this. So I actually wanted to be a dentist. Okay. So like I was thinking, hey, I want to be a dentist. My brother, he's a doctor. I'll be a dentist. We can have a practice together. It could be a family business. It could be great. Everybody will like me. And and so like I worked really hard to become a dentist. And I was even in my undergrad at Xavier just to be like, I'm gonna become a dentist. It's gonna be great. And I was still like sometimes playing jazz. I was practicing a lot, but I didn't know what I was doing with it. And it honestly wasn't until I started not becoming successful that I realized what I was successful at. And so like it was unique. This was not the plan. However, everything that I was doing in that moment up to there was therapeutic work I was doing. I just didn't realize it. And so a lot of times you're already doing what you truly are designed to be. You just don't, I guess, put the right color on it to see it. So so like I was not in the realm of that, but I was also doing it at the same time without realizing that.
So what caused you to change? Like what was there a defining moment when you were like, I don't want to be a dentist anymore, I want to be a therapist? Or was it like a group of events? How did that go down? Yeah, so it's actually really weird. So I went to get my post-baccalaureate at Cleveland State. Literally played there for like 3 months. I was even a janitor during that time. So like I was a janitor at nighttime. So like I would go to school to like try to become a dentist. And then at night I would be a janitor at the Cleveland State like facilities, the workout facilities. So at night I would really just be thinking about my life while I was like cleaning everything and just like figuring like, what is my purpose? What am I doing here? Like, what is this? Like, and literally 1 month of working there, like I got Employee of the Month, and literally like the day before that, I got asked to, like, I was literally playing in a random bar, and it happened to be a guy named Junai who plays guitar. He played guitar for he grew up with like the Jacksons, all that. Like he was just like that kind of guy that played with like all the big cats back in the day. And he was like, hey, I want to call you one day, and took him like, you hear it and you're like, okay, like, I wasn't thinking too much about it. He was a really nice guy. But then literally I got a call that night asking like, hey, do you want to come play with the Temptations? And I was like, yeah, sure, when? You have to come down to Tennessee. We got to leave in about 14 days. And I was like,
Okay, because like I had a whole dream of being this dentist and like doing all this stuff and like having this whole life. And I was like, I had to either stick through this, or I take my luggage case, my '97 Intrepid, and my trombone, and drive to Tennessee and see what happens. Mm-hmm. And so literally like the day I got the award for the Employee of the Month, I was like, I also want you to know I'm quitting because I'm going to take this trip to Tennessee and see how it goes, and just see what happens. And I went there and I never looked back. And I had a whole nother life in Tennessee. I was in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area, and I was performing with them Monday through Saturday.
So would you define that as the turning point in your life?
Yeah, and it was unique because during that time I was literally I live, breathe, and sleep music 100% every day. And when I wasn't doing that, I actually was like a night auditor at a hotel. This is where it starts to connect. So like I performed this really big show and like all these people were here, thousands of people were just like everywhere every day. Yeah. And then like afterwards I'd ride my bike to this hotel that would be a night auditor. Okay. And so I would like stay behind this desk, just like making sure when people come in, they check in and all that. And like I would meet random people every day, like just walking through randomly. They just be walking down the hill of Gatlinburg and like Pigeon Forge, and they'd be like, "So, what is this place?" I'm like, "It's a hotel." Like, would you like to stay? Like you know, I got like asked like really weird questions. They're like one person said, "Hey, like, you know, do the elevators go up and down or left and right?" I'm like, "This isn't the chocolate factory, like up and down, like, you know what I mean?" It was like this weird, but like I would meet these people and they all have a story, and they would tell me their story, and I would talk to them and learn about them. And someone would come back like every other week or so just because they just like talking to me and they liked my company. And, you know, and I was like, this is weird. I'm like I just wanted to like stay behind the desk, practice my guitar, you know, and just like kind of chill out. Then all of a sudden, like my friend was like, "So are you going to go back to dental school? Or are you going to try to go back?" And I actually got an email from another school saying I got denied to their school program. So I was like, so either I'm going to stay here and do this music thing for the rest of my life, or like I don't know what to do. Like I was just like kind of like distraught because that was my dream, you know, or I thought it was my dream. And all of a sudden, you know, my friend was like, "Well, why don't you try a therapy program?" I mean, like I'm like, I know I actually got my undergrad in psychology. Really? So I was actually a biochem major all the way till my senior year, and then I was like, I don't feel like doing this lab stuff anymore. Like I got enough credits to get psychology. I'm gonna take one class and I'll be good to go. Yeah. And when I took that class, it was like, oh, this is what I should have been majoring in. Gotcha. Because it wasn't about like, I was working really hard as a biochem person. But when I did psychology, like I could read the book, memorize it, not have a problem. And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was easy. Gotcha. You know, I thought, oh, it's easy, no problem. Gotcha. But like, what it actually was that was my gift. Like I'm good at understanding people, the why of people. But I didn't connect like you could be a therapist. So I was like, psychology, I'm like, yeah, I was pretty good at it. I do have a major. Like, so I told my friend, like, yeah, I'll try it out. So I applied to John Carroll and literally took I didn't even study for the exams and all that. I was like, well, if I don't get in, like, that's fine. Like, because I wasn't going to be a dentist thing. I was still stuck on trying to be this dentist. So like I took the test. I passed it. It was really good scores, and I was like, "Wow, I didn't think this was gonna happen." So I was like, "I'll put it in. Hopefully, I get accepted." Literally got an interview that next week, and I told them, I said like, "Hey, like, I gotta go." It was really scary though because it's like I got to be with such great history and great artists and great musicians and great people, but I also knew that there was a part of me that still wasn't filled yet. And when I sat in that classroom and I saw what it was about, I realized like, that's what I was missing. So that mind and music thing, like I needed both. Like I couldn't just have music because I realized the limitations in art that I was experiencing. And I also realized that even in psychology, there are limitations that I need to be freed by art. Okay. So, you know, so that whole mind and music thing is really like my teeter-totter, I guess you could say.
So you wouldn't be able to just pick one or the other. You have to have that.
I would be a wreck. Yeah, I would be a complete wreck if it would not go well. Gotcha. Yeah, I need both to balance.
So How scared were you before you went down to Tennessee? Like, how were you feeling maybe the day before you went down there?
Okay, have you ever been 5 years old, you had to pee, and you're playing hide and seek with your friends, but you didn't want to get out of the hiding spot because if you got out of the spot, you would be it, but you really had to go pee, and you had to make a really hard decision?
Gotcha.
I decided to pee on my pants. So I took the plunge, I jumped out, and I was like, let me just do it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And, and it was the scariest moment of my life because it goes against everything I was taught. It went against everything that I was taught to be. It went against everything that I knew that was quote unquote right. Like, be the best you can be. Don't take a risk.
Yeah.
Use education to help you get through. And it's like, yeah, of course, but I didn't know who I was. And so, that was the first time, I guess, you can call that my Oregon Trail, of, just trying to get through life. And I never thought that this is what would happen because I don't even want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I still don't even realize I'm an entrepreneur right now. I don't want to do that. That was not my goal. This is not my goal. And that's the thing about life is that the moment you begin to become yourself, you'll feel the plateau. And if you choose yourself, if you choose who you truly are, it'll only make you look past the next thing. And a lot of times people get to this line of success and then they parallel and then they just go left and right. They never go up. And it's because they never looked at themselves and what they believe in. They look at what they've been taught to believe in. And so for me, even in psychology, I found barriers. I didn't want to make this company. I didn't want to make the Institute. But I found myself stuck in ways that if I didn't choose myself, I wouldn't be this free about myself. So I think that free fall, you got to have a free fall moment in your life and you have to jump. You do.
Were you as scared when you moved from Tennessee back to go to John Carroll?
God, yes. Oh my God.
Were you more scared?
I was scared of making sure I made the right decision.
Okay.
Right? Because I had this premier gig that not only was just a great, the kind of gig I had is a gig that you would normally, you don't get at that age, right? It was a.
Now, how old were you?
I was 21, 22 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was 22 making this ridiculous amount of just income.
Yeah.
And I just got out of college, so it's I was planning on getting minimum wage or and I was just I'll just work this out and I was this is the kind of thing you would get if you were in the premier area in LA and you were a contracted horn to play on tours and for a AAA artist or something.
Yeah.
And so I was excited to really make this amazing money and and I didn't, even though having that income wasn't enough for me. So so it even shows you that it's not even about the income, it's about the lifestyle you're living.
Yeah.
And so I was just really learning that it's about the way I live my life. So going back from Tennessee to Cleveland, I had to see what type of life I would be living because I never thought I would be in a psychological educational background like this. And also thank God I had Angel, just having the support, just come back, we'll figure it out, I got you. And having that support system is so important. I always brag about in my nonprofit, the power of friendship is real. It's real. I believe in One Piece. That's why I love One Piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the episodes are a lot, but it's the power of friendship. That's what it is. And so, if you don't have that support system or don't have that friendship, it's time to invest in that. And a lot of times people just go with convenience. I'm learning that convenience and quality are two different types of friends, and that's kind of, if I didn't have that support, I probably wouldn't be here, and I had to also get away from my patriarchal views, thinking I had to have this type of money, I had to have this type of life to be the right man for the right woman, and it's all these really Hercules type of things, and that was not the case. I was just coming out of this, and I didn't have a job, I didn't have these things. All I had was an ambition, and I had, well, let me help with this. I was a stay-at-home dad for real, so it was I was literally I was doing the nurturing role.
Yeah.
And so that was completely against what I was taught.
Yeah.
So even that, I had to learn to let go of the things I thought I had to be to become who I am.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it feels weird when you just live it. Like, you don't think about this stuff on the back end. You just like, I need to survive.
Just
like
hearing the whole story put together and everything, it's you've taken a lot of leaps. And it seems like they really paid off for you so far.
And not all leaps, I didn't land on my legs on all the leaps now. Like there's some moments where like I had to get the really like weird ending job, like to just like make sure I could like get through this and the other. Like, you know, and so don't expect to always land on your feet. The important thing is about leaping. How you land,
as long as you have something to take away from each time you land.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know, and I think that's what some people miss. They think that because they leap, they should just be like, "Oh, now I made it, now I'm a star." It's like, nah, like you gotta leap like 10 more times. You gotta like it's like, and I'm gonna be making another leap soon again.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I don't do that, I'll never actually find who I am in all this. And now I finally like have figured out, like, I found out the patterns and the routines of who I am. But like to have peace in that, I'm still working on that. And that's okay. And I think a lot of people feel like they have to have it all to be it all.
So when you first started doing the therapy and everything, did you always want to be like your own boss and everything? Or did you not care? No. Did you have a preference?
I did not want to be a boss. I did not want to run this. I don't even know if I'm running this right now. Like, that's my thing. It's like, I just want to be a therapist. I want to help people. I want to do the practicing stuff. That's it. But I realized that when I was in other environments or other spaces to do that, I'd always find barriers. Like, I'd always be like, well, why are we doing it this way? And like, well, we don't really have the funding to do this. Well, why are we doing this? Oh, that doesn't meet our quota.
Gotcha.
Oh, there's a price on people. Right. Oh, there's a time and hour on people. Oh. Well, then what am I supposed to do? Like, well, how many people did you see this month? Oh, only 15. Oh, you're supposed to see 20. Oh, I'm being punished for that? Like, well, 5 people felt like they didn't need it because I helped them out. Yeah. I gave them the interventions. I helped them out with things. Like, I'm good. You know, but like, no, so I need to keep them going. That just wasn't ethical to me. Gotcha. And morally, I just didn't feel healthy about that. Even when working with kids, like I was in locked facility units, and I would be helping these kids out, and you know they were considered at-risk youth. If for those of you listening, I'm using like quotation hands. So like that whole moment is like it's frustrating because I saw what the system was doing to these children, and I saw what I wasn't able to do to truly help, and I saw what they needed, but I also understood this is a part of a system that's way bigger than me, and so. Instead of just like folding in or like I'm gonna become a manager so then I can be the change, like unless my name isn't CEO or executive director of that company, there's nothing that I can do to change that. You know, and so for me I just decided to make my own. That was in response, not reaction or spite, my response to the things that I saw that were not happening in those facilities or environments. So yeah, so like this isn't something I planned on doing. I did not plan on having this. I'm still learning how to be a CEO. Yeah. Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. I want to be a practitioner. And so I'm, like, transitioning into this, like, practitioner CEO role. And it's kind of, not saying boring, but it's, like, stressful because all I do is, like, send emails, make documents, and, like, try to set things up for people, for other therapists to be successful. Yeah. So it's, because, like, so that's the reward, I guess you could say. Like, I know the work I'm doing, I'm clinician-centered, so I focus on the health of my clinicians rather than the whole person-centered, where they only focus on the client. So a lot of people, you know, then that's a lot of people don't like the fact that I say that too. So like I am definitely in my own avenue of that, but that's a whole nother talk for another day. But yeah, I focus on clinician-centered. Yeah.
Hey guys, how are you doing? Sorry to cut up the video. This is future me. That was previous me. The interview went great with my cousin. I hope you guys are enjoying it a whole lot. I'd love to do more of these. But first, I kind of want to tell you guys a little bit. You know how YouTube videos and things do little sponsored posts and things? Well, we're kind of, in a sense, sponsoring our own video. So Jarvis Calendar is an app we recently released, and if you are an Android, I'd love for you guys to try it out. So either go to jarviscalendar.com or search up Jarvis Calendar in the Google Play Store, download it, leave a review, let us know what you would like added, what you would like fixed or changed, and we will get on it. It's a cool calendar app where you can take pictures of little doctor slips and things, and it'll put the information and stuff into a created event inside of your calendar. You can get it for the whole family. It's awesome. My brother Dakota did a whole lot of work on it, and I'd love for you guys to go and check it out. So please go check that out, and I'll let you guys get back to the interview. Enjoy. So you mentioned your Viewunity. How did that come along to be?
The power of friendship. So literally during the pandemic was so real, right? And so everything was shut down. And I was like, okay, so all these environments and all these communities are shut down. People still need help. I gotta do something. So I would literally see like kids playing outside, but then like they couldn't go to school anymore. So that means that they're missing their lunches, they're missing their like meals. So like they're out here like not eating. And so I got a grant to help like get sandwiches, food, and connections with like different restaurants. And we packed lunches, and then we went to like parking lots and like parks where kids were playing and help feed them. And then on the back end, I would ask them like, what do you like to do? And I just see kids always say like playing video games. I'm like, that makes sense during the pandemic because you couldn't see anybody. And so me and my buddy Justin, the great Jay, I would call him, we were playing Smash Brothers like every other day, like just like consistently just playing Smash Brothers. And like one thing about like I am like the best Smash Brothers player like in Ohio. So like maybe the world. So like it's one of those things where like every time I play, like we just had these tournaments, I would always be winning. And I'm like let's start like let's do this. So he was like, we should make a nonprofit. I'm like, why? Like why? Like why would I do this? And he's like, well, the things that you were doing, we could connect that and make that part of like a company, and like we can like raise money and bring other content creators in. I'm like, as long as you get to play Smash Brothers a lot, I'm cool. Like that's fine with me. Like in Rocket League sometimes, And so we noticed like we started streaming, and we noticed like there were more people coming on, and I was like, well, I'm doing Extra Life. We should just have Viewunity do Extra Life. And I've been doing Extra Life Gaming, which is another nonprofit that helps raise money for sick kids. I was like, I've been working with them since they first started, like 10 years ago. Like before, like I was like 20 when like they first started, and like, and it wasn't even like this online stuff. Like it was literally like the way they have it now set up is amazing. Like before it was like, put this code in and you can donate this code, and like it was like a lot going on. Now it's just like it's so seamless right now. But after 10 years of doing that, about 10 years of doing it, like I was like, you know what, let's go big. For me it's like go big or go home. Make the leap, just do the leap. And then Jaya, his crazy butt, was like, yeah, let's make our goal 10,000. I'm like, what? And I'm like 10,000, like I raised like 1,000, maybe even 2,000 one time. But like 10,000, that's ridiculous. And he's like, rely on the power of friendship. I was like, all right. So if I can get 20 people in this group, we can make things happen. So literally, I started just like finding other content creators on Facebook, Twitch. We came together. We created like a streaming list. We just started streaming like weekly. And literally on the last day, we hit over 10,000. And I was like, I've been wanting to do this goal for like 10 years to hit 10,000 on the 10-year anniversary. Like, this is like the epitome of like success. I'm like, yes, we did it. And so like, it's amazing. But like, and now we also created like another part of that, right? So we have like a View Gamers, like, so like Viewunity, like, so Viewunity means view, community, and unity. That's what the whole point is. So like our 3 pillars are, the power of friendship, content creation, and just like building a healthy space for like different people, the inclusive spaces. And so now it's like, now that we hit that goal, we're like, well, what's the next goal? And like right now we have a music sound team. So we have a music sound team that makes music for, it's like royalty-free streaming music. And so like we make music for people's like art, content streaming, whatever they need to do.
Where can people access that at?
Oh, we have a Bandcamp right now, and so if you if you look up Viewunity, it's on the Bandcamp. So we have like 4 or 5 albums with just like random artists that came together. We teamed up and we just made these albums together just to like play music while we're just like relaxing. And that money actually goes to Extra Life.
Really?
So like so if you buy the album, you can put your own donation in. That money gets sent to Extra Life.
Gotcha.
So so it's really amazing. Like it's like artists can come together, make content creators can come in, do good work for a great cause. And then also this year we're going to work on making sure that they get paid along with all those things too. So like, you know, like you're also raising money, but you're also making a living.
Gotcha.
And so right now we're in that transition right now, like making the grants and doing all that kind of stuff.
So what's the next step for Viewunity?
The next step is going to be infrastructure.
Okay.
So what we want to do, now that things are kind of opening back up, what we want to do is start creating like actual programs.
Okay.
We actually had like 3 or 4 programs. We had like one like a gaming culture program with Gamer Haven, which is down the street.
Really?
We had Content Creator Awareness Day, where like we just bring content creators and just like show like a thank you and appreciation for making content. And then also we wanted to start it's called the Viewcademy, which is where we like teach you how to become a streamer, how to do film, how to do these things to like kids that normally wouldn't have access to this kind of stuff, or teaching them how to be a healthy content creator. A lot of people don't have that, you know, and so like for me, I had to learn, but I had the privilege of like being a nerd already, so like I already like kind of like figured things out. But like if you're someone that doesn't have the access or the family that has that type of technological background, there's a lot of gaps in that. Like they're just now getting Wi-Fi in schools now. Like that was a big thing schools were doing. Like there are hundreds and thousands of kids that didn't have Wi-Fi in their own home. So like the fact that that was even there, like when are those kids supposed to learn how to do content creation? Which is why they watch YouTube videos so much, which is why they're on Twitch watching so much, because they don't have their own thing. And so it's like there's a gap there. And so like we were just trying to fill in that gap, and that's what Viewcademy was all about. So we're trying to make a curriculum right now to kind of like access schools and like teach kids who wants to be a content creator.
When can people expect that to maybe be out for everyone to learn from?
When I get the funding.
Okay.
That's because like I can make the curriculum, I can get the team together, but if I can't do the money to pay them, you know, it's because at the end of the day, they're content creators. They've made the sacrifice, the leap, to trust in their content. To like, so they're making a leap, and so like I want to make sure that when they're leaping into Viewunity, they're being supported too. Just because they're supporting other people doesn't mean that they don't get supported themselves. You know, publicity is great and cross promotion is great, but at the end of the day, like they have to get paid for their time. You know, and that's also like the musician in me too. Like I don't play for free. You know, like, you know, people think about that. They're like, well, why don't you talk to people? It's free. You know, like I'm like, hey, I got in debt for this. so like, yes, like $60 may seem like a lot to you, but I have a $140,000 debt. So like, I need that $60. That means a lot to me. So people don't ever like connect that. Like they think, oh, you're having fun. You love to do it for free. No.
Or even the price of the instrument and stuff.
Like my horn I have, it's over $5,000.
Really?
So like they're like, oh, can I play with your horn? I'm like, no, I don't know you. Like that's like asking if you like, hey, can I pick your kid up and just kiss him? Like I don't know you. Don't kiss my kid. Like like don't be up on my kid's face. You know, like that's a thing. Like so it's like it's just like a privacy thing. It's like people don't realize like they think because you're having fun or like it's something that looks fun than what they're doing that it's somehow free or like there's like your time is like spendable. Like that's just not a thing. You know, that's a weird. It's a weird thing. People.
Now, how do you still have that? Like I struggle with it sometimes. The trying to get paid from someone. You know, like you don't want to seem like it's all about the money, but you're like, hey, this job's complete. I need my money and stuff. Are you still in that with your music and everything, or have you found a way to combat that?
Yeah, actually. So it took me a long time because I used to feel bad about asking for money. I used to feel bad about that, and now what I do is. This is the therapist in me. So you acknowledge the discomfort in the beginning so that they can understand compassion. Because a lot of times people react negatively about that. So for instance, I'd be like, hey, this is always a hard part for me to talk about, but I wanted to get the money and business out the way first. So then that can be settled so I can just really work on what I really enjoy doing. Is that okay? Or like I call it an I but and statement. Hey, I understand we're about to get started, but I want to work on the money first. And when we get done, I want to get back to the fun stuff. Is that okay? But and. I understand that this is what's happening, but this is what I need. And I hope that we can work this out and move forward together.
That's awesome. That's an awesome way to look at it.
Yeah, it's simple. It's one sentence, and it encapsulates everything that's happening. And it also lets them know that you already feel a way about it. You know, because, you know, I hate to say it, but there's some people that will try to stiff you on that.
Yeah.
Like, these cameras you got right here, man, these are some real cameras, man. These ain't no, like, these are some real things. So it's like, it's an investment. I'm not just buying you. I'm also buying your equipment and your time and your setup and your work and the post of it all. And like that's a lot of hours and time. Yeah. You know, so like that's not something to take lightly. Yeah. You know, and then sometimes, you know, I might sometimes I tell people, even in my own music stuff, I'm like, hey, if I take a cut, I let them know how much I'm cutting. Like, like, hey, I know you're paying me $75 for this. Normally I charge $250. Just want to let you know, you know, because it's important for them to understand that you're not just paying me to perform, you're also paying for the quality of what you're getting. So like, if I pay you a lot of money, I don't want to hear problems. Like, there's a reason why, like, people always say, like, oh, Beyonce, she's this good, she's not that great and all that. I'm like, her job is to make it look effortless. Yeah. That's the whole point. So then you feel like you can do it. So you feel like you can be a part of it. So you feel like you'll watch it and you can judge it. Like, if she was struggling truly, you wouldn't actually pay much attention. It's like they pay that much because they want the show. She can charge $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. Chris Brown can charge $1,000 to take a picture with him. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, he knows what he's worth. Yeah. And so like, he's not batting that. And the thing is like, and all the pictures, funny enough, if you go online, all the pictures are like hilarious, and like he's like really acting out those pictures because he knows what he's giving, and you know that he's gonna give you a good product. So like, if you believe in me, you'll pay for it, and if not, I get it. There's thousands of other people. I am not the best trombone player in the world, but what I am is myself, and what you're paying for is me, and so like I have to understand that I am actually sellable. I am a product. And so it's a unique way to look at that, but like you are worth what you cost. And a lot of people feel uncomfortable about that. But if you actually don't act that way, people won't budge. Like, oh, how much is that? Oh, $600. Like, oh, that's a lot. I'm like, well, if you need someone cheaper, I can give you somebody else, but I don't know about the quality. Yeah. They're like, oh, right, I'm paying for the quality. Oh, I'm paying for this.
So what would you say to someone that's struggling to maybe understand their self-worth? Maybe they're starting up a business or something and they're having a hard time pricing it. What advice would you give them?
Yeah, so the fake entrepreneur in me says, understand what your competition is selling. Okay. Understand, okay, so this is what you do. This is a great way to do it. I call it the Tug of War Effect. So you look at somebody that's doing exactly what you want to do, or you think that they're doing, like you want to be like them. Then you look at someone else that is like outside nationally, like someone outside of what you're doing, like not in your city, someone like in another city. Yeah. See how much they're charging in your state or whatever, right? And ask yourself, does my service look like this, or does my service look like that? Find out where you align. So like, let's say like the one I want to be like, they charge $500. Okay. The one that's in another state, they charge like $750 maybe. You look at those and you say, which one am I more like right now? Okay. And you kind of like put on a scale, and then you find the number that's in between that, because you have to think about the process of what you do, the time it takes for you to do it, the turnaround, the quality of the product. Buy their products. Buy those people products. What was their process like? Did you like their process? Did you not like their process? Did you like the way they package their stuff? Did you not like the way they package their stuff? Do you like the way they show their videos? Do they have tutorials? Do they like, these are things that like, was their experience worth the amount that you got? Gotcha. You know, and start like, that's, you know, and that's, I hate to say it like this, but like even for like my therapy stuff, I had to go to therapy myself, see what I liked about my therapist, what I didn't like about the process. I went to the different, I asked other therapists, and I looked at my other colleagues. I looked at their website, and I was like, let me see their websites. Let me see their stuff. Their stuff is okay, but it's not modern. Yeah. It's just very like, I went on the Wiz and like put things in there, call this, and you can't even contact them. Really? Yeah, like that happens a lot. Like, so I was like, I want to remove these barriers that they're doing, because that would annoy me as a client. that annoyed me as a colleague. And so like I had to like make sure like even in my institute, like you can sign up today, right now, without me even talking to you. You can sign up for a time, a schedule, and all that.
Really?
Because I realized that as a client, one of the hardest things is to ask for therapy and have to wait a month or two to get in.
Gotcha.
Or if they even respond on email.
Gotcha.
Like I refuse to do that to people. So my thing is I have my time schedules up in advance. And so you can go online, request an appointment, click my name, look at when I'm free. And you can click in there and get all the paperwork and everything done.
Gotcha.
And we can telehealth that next week or whatever, or that next month, whatever it may be.
Gotcha.
So like that was my thing, access. Like you said, like the access of excellence. That's a thing for me. And like that was a pet peeve of mine. But like some people are like, no, that's a bad idea because you never know what's going to happen. I'm like, I'd rather them know that there's a connection than to be wondering. Because usually when people first like click on you, they're already going through something when they click on you. And now they have to wait 30 more days to see you.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot. Like so, and they don't even know if they're going to hear from you.
Yeah.
You know, so I really think that was like a, you know, so that's my thing. Just the tug of war mindset. Like someone that you really want to be like, someone that's outside your city, and then like buy something from both of them, like or like work with both of them and see what it's like being a customer. What did you like? What didn't you like? You know, and yeah, it's gonna cost money, but like that's the best way to know where you're gonna be at.
Yeah.
You know, so.
What advice, if you could go back to yourself when you just started getting started and everything, or even as a kid or something, what advice would you give yourself?
That's a really easy and difficult question. The easy answer to that is be really great at what you're good at. A lot of times we try to be great at what we think we're great at. Like I could be that person where I could have just like kept really hard on being a dentist and just like not even go to the psychology program. I could have just went back to post-bac and like kept going. But my natural talents are what I should have done in the beginning. So like even as instruments, like my first instrument was trombone. I wanted to play the saxophone.
How old were you?
I was 4th, 5th grade.
Really?
Yeah, 4th, 5th grade. Yeah, I'd probably say 5th. Yeah, 5th grade probably. And it was crazy because I realized like I was naturally gifted on trombone. And it allowed me to learn trumpet, tuba, baritone, euphonium, guitar. Yeah. Like I learned everything else after learning that. But like, let's say if I would have learned like a woodwind, I may not have been able to learn all those things, gotcha. Right? And like, so like, it's learning what you're good at. It's like if you're good at something naturally, educate it. So educate what you're passionate about. That's the first thing. So whatever you're passionate about, educate that. And you know, and then also the hard answer is, it really doesn't matter what you do. It's the attitude and how you do it. Okay. So like right now, like I'm learning an instrument right now that like I'm terrible at. Complete, like I'm trash. Like,
what instrument is it?
Oh God, I never even told. No one even knows this. No one even knows that. I'm learning the slide guitar right now. Okay. So like I've learned about sacred steel and I've been really into it. So like I got this slide guitar, kind of like that SpongeBob sound. I don't know if you know. Like it's like that dun 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 dun.
Okay,
it's like that. It's like that. It's a slide.
You ever seen the Edda and Eddie episode?
Yeah, exactly.
The one that she's playing on the boat.
Yeah. That's the instrument. Yeah, that's what I'm learning right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And like, it's like one of those things where like I'm really terrible at it, and like the coordination's weird, and like it's just a lot. But literally I've been playing it every day for 15 minutes. Doesn't matter if I'm tired, sad, like just 15 minutes. Yeah. I am literally able to play a song now. And I'm actually able to control the bar. Really? And like, yeah. And it's like, yes, I am gifted in music, but like, it's my consistency. Yeah. And just willingness to like make that a part of my life.
Now, do you find days where you maybe only plan to do it for 15 minutes, but you kind of get carried away and you find yourself there for an hour or so?
Yeah, that's the trick. See, and that is the trick. So like you sit there, like right before I go to bed, I do it. So I'm like, I'm exhausted. Let me just give 15 minutes. Yeah. And then I tell myself, well, if I can watch Netflix for like an hour and a half, that's like 3 episodes. I can practice while I'm watching it. So like while I'm watching Netflix, I'm just playing around on it. Yeah. Or like, and just like, you know, just figuring it out. And then, or if I hear something that's happening, I might try to connect with it. So like, I try to make it a part of my life.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes I'll even set up the instrument in different places around the house, so that like, oh, here it is, and I just play it real quick. It's so that I'm always coming back to that.
Gotcha.
It's that consistency. You know, the difference between someone that's good and someone that's great is just the detail. That's it. Someone that's really great, they just more detail. Like I could be a bodybuilder and like train and like become amazing, but the amount of detail that takes and time and attention, that's the difference. Gotcha. And so like I don't have that time and attention into detail like that. So like, and you can do anything you want. Yeah. But you got to be honest with your intention about your time. You have to be focused on that. And like that's like right now my focus is on music and this mind stuff and content creation. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to someone starting a business or looking to get into music or content creation? What do you wish that you would have known that may help someone in the future?
I wish I would have known how lonely it is in the beginning. Okay. I thought like, hey, I have this great idea. Everybody's like, yeah, this sounds like a great idea. And then like I did all the background work, like get the LLC up, get the whole like paperwork, make it like, you know, all official, right? And I'm like, all right, let's do this. Everybody's like, it's like, come on, like let's do this, guys. Or like, and I had to realize that my dream was not for everybody else's dream to dream, right? I realized that it was my dream. And so like I have to walk that. And it's not until you actually make something for yourself do people actually support you in. So I thought people would support me before the dream was happening. And that was not true. It's not true at all. So like I was sitting here like streaming by myself like, God, this is terrible. Like me and Jay would just be playing with ourselves all the time, like just playing back and forth, and like nobody would be watching. And then eventually like 3 people came on, then 6 people came, then 12 people came on, and then we started raising money for Extra Life, and then it was like, oh, okay, y'all care. So when I realized the hard truth is that people won't support you until you have something that they can believe in. And just because they don't believe in you in that moment doesn't mean they don't support you. It's just that wasn't their vision. You know, and that's the difference between a leader and a follower. I think like a leader is just a passionate follower, right? And so for me, there's like this moment where you have to realize that as a leader, your job is to help the followers see themselves in your vision. And if you can help them see themselves in your vision, then you give them the responsibility of what the cost and the reward of that is. And then you create another leader out of that. Gotcha. But like, you know, a lot of people just think like, oh, I did something cool. Why aren't you liking my status? Why aren't you sharing my stuff? It's not about they don't want to share it or anything. It's just the fact that, do they see themselves in that? Do they see themselves in what you're visioning? And a lot of times that's not the case. And so we take that personal. You know, and you know, I always say like sharing's free. You don't have to buy a ticket. Like, but then also when they don't want to share, it's like, damn, like you don't even like that. It's like, come on, like I set it all up. Look at this cool post. You know, but at the end of the day, it's like they see it. They do see it. They do see you, and I think that's one of the biggest things I tell anybody. Like, we do see you. Don't give up. We do see you. Don't give up, because it does get disheartening at times.
How do you stay, like, when you were having periods with no people stopping by or anything, how do you keep yourself motivated and keep yourself away from quitting?
I remember why I started it. Always remember your why. As an entrepreneur especially, never forget your why. So like if one person's following me or if no people are following me, I want to stream because this was a time for me to enjoy what I love doing. The end. Anything outside of that, I mean, that's it. So like, so if people come on, I'm celebrating them. I'm excited when they get on because it's like, oh, great, someone can share this with me. But if no one's there, it's like, I wanted to play this game. I wanted to enjoy the streaming because I actually enjoy streaming. People are like, well, it's a business. I'm like, yeah, I get that. But at the end of the day, like, I never want to do a job that I don't love. Like that's, so like, you don't have to do streaming. Like if you don't love streaming, then don't do it. Like if you do, oh, I'm gonna be a streamer so I can make money. I'm like, if you knew how much work goes into content creation, you probably wouldn't. Like if like people wouldn't do it if they knew like how much work it goes in. Like they probably wouldn't. Like I set all this up for 5 hours to stream for 2 hours and then nobody looked at it. that sucks. Like, you know, like that's horrible.
How long between when you first started to when people started showing up and stuff, how long do you think that period maybe was?
I call it the 90 day. The 90 day. I had a 90 day, like that's when I got my first 5 people consistently.
Really?
Where they're like, hey, what time are you going on again? Yeah. Hey, can I join you? I was like, after 90 days, I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
It was sad. So I was a weird effect. So when I first started my first month, everybody was there. Yeah. It was crazy. It was like, oh my God, it was such a high.
Yeah.
And then like that after that 30-day mark, everybody was like, boop.
Yeah.
And I was like, where'd all my friends go? I was like tapping the screen like, friends, you know, and then I was like, they hate me. And then like after that 90-day mark, it was like, okay, here's the 5. Mm-hmm. And then it started growing again, and people started liking Viewunity's Facebook page more, and then Facebook noticed us, and then, you know, it started growing. But like, we had to take a break from all that, right? So like, I didn't stream after we got that 10,000. Yeah. We took a break for like 4 or 5 months. Yeah. And then we came back, and I'm back to square one again, where like I streamed again, and like there was like one person that came on, and I was like, and for me it was kind of like, oh my God, starting over again. Yeah. But all the lessons I learned from that, it allowed me to be like, less pressure. Mm-hmm. I'm not worried so much about making it so beautiful and like so right and so like, I'm worried more about who I am in that. Yeah. You know, it's like, look, if you care more about what it looks like than who I am, then you're probably not even watching for the right reason. Because how my stream looks is not going to be the reason why you come back. Yeah. So like, if I'm not right within myself or healthy, there's no point. You know, you got to look at the bigger picture of things.
So one more, as an accessible excellence, a way I'd like to end this is, what is one tip you could give to make excellence a little bit more accessible? If you could leave just one overall.
To make this.
Yes. What is one word of advice, one quote, one tip?
Be everything, expect nothing. So as an entrepreneur, as a person, as a changer, as a new person, just for that type of excellence, be everything, expect nothing. Okay. So just allow yourself to really do everything you possibly can, and don't worry about what should happen. Worry about the actual process of who you are in that. And things will all come together.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you for doing this with me today.
Of course.
I really appreciate it. I really appreciate Show William some love and everything for being the first person on it.
Right. I gotta come back. When you go, we got like a return, like part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can people look forward to in the next few weeks or months, or where can they? Are you going to be streaming?
I am. So I'm actually creating a scheduled stream. Okay. So like I'm going to be streaming a lot more on the evenings. So like late night stuff.
And where can they find you at?
They can go on Facebook. They can go on Twitch. Okay. They can go on YouTube. It's all Viewunity. Okay. So just look up Viewunity Gaming. Okay. Yeah, Viewunity Gaming.
And music-wise, is there anything the people of Cleveland can look forward to? Or?
I have so many performances coming up. I would say just follow the Land Brass Band, DALAND BRASS. Follow Mourning of BLKStar, and also follow. Just follow. Yeah, if you follow those 2, or you can follow me on my personal one, bowtie_Willie. Okay. But just, like I always post, like if you see the post, you're invited. Okay. That's kind of my thing. It's like I post every event that's happening in like the month. Yeah. So like if you see it, you're invited. Just yeah, that's kind of how I do it.
That's awesome. Well, William spent a lot of time with us today talking and everything. I hope you guys learned something from it. And we'll go from there. Be sure to go check out his stuff. It'll be down in the description below. And we'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.